up, you guys? Welcome to episode 4 of Kouch Chronicles. One of our microphones broke already. So, bear with us. We only have one today. We're going to pass it back and forth.
Which is also why we're sitting so close to each other.
This is like weird for us. Today we're going to tell the stories of the best first dates that we've been on.
Yay!
Yay! Good first dates. I feel like it's rare to have a first date that actually is like good.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of first dates that are like, it was fine. He was so nice.
Yeah. I feel like I've had a lot of first dates that I feel like I come back home and I look at you and I'm like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, like nothing, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't like great.
Right. I've had bad ones, though.
Yeah. We're going to talk about the bad ones too. But today we're just going to tell the best first date stories that we've ever been on in our 28 years of life. So Kristen's going to go first, and then I'm going to go and take it away.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Kristen. Okay, I'm going to go with mine first. It's not going to be a very long story. I feel like it's my best first date because of where I was at in my life almost. And I don't know, it went really well, whatever. Okay, I'll start from the beginning. I matched with this guy on Hinge. This is when I first moved to California. So I was 22, I think. I was living in Riverside actually at the time. And I was just on Hinge. I never really dated. Really? Like, not even in college. It just wasn't like, it didn't interest me. Like, I was on dating apps, but I never actually, like, went on dates.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because in my mindset, like, that's not really what I was there for.
Yeah.
Like, I was literally just there to get my degree, and I liked boys, but I don't know. I always just would get so nervous, too, I feel like. So, whatever. So, this was, like, the first time that I was like, no, I'm gonna go on a date. I'm gonna do it. Whatever. So, this man was my very, very first Hinge date.
What's his name?
Spotify guy is what we're going to call him.
Okay.
So, Spotify guy and I matched on Hinge, and I think we chatted for a while before we decided that, like, we want to exchange phone numbers and then meet up, whatever. So, at the time, I was living in Riverside, and he was living, like, right outside of LAX. So, it was, like, pretty far drive, but I was like, you know what? Nothing's happening in the Inland Empire ever. So I'll make the drive. Like, I'll come to LA. And so we agreed upon, it was like a Friday or Saturday night. We went to Angel City Brewery. And it was my first time going there too. And I don't know. I feel like when I showed up, I drove myself because I was driving from so far away. He Ubered because he lived so close.
Yeah. Naturally.
And I feel like right away when we greeted each other, I was so nervous, you guys. I was going to throw up. Like, I was legit going to throw up. And it was just so comfortable. Like, immediately. Like, we were just so comfortable with each other. And I just remember we went, got a few beers. We walked around Angel City. If anyone listening has ever been to Angel City Brewery, it's just a really cool spot. Like, they have cornhole.
Where is it?
That's a great question. It's like downtown.
Downtown LA?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't know exactly where it
Okay.
is. I think it's kind of by like Kura.
Oh.
Like that, like the, I don't know if it's like Little Tokyo or that area.
Okay.
It's really close by to that area, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
If I'm wrong, I'm so sorry. I don't spend a lot of time in downtown. But yeah, it's a really cool spot. I feel like I don't have a lot of details about why it was my best first date, but I just remember it as like my best first date because we just sat and talked for hours. Like, I think we met up at like 6 or 7 p.m. and I don't think we left Angel City until like 11 p.m. midnight.
Wow.
Like, because we just sat and talked, just the two of us for hours.
Yeah.
And at one point we were playing cornhole, and at one point we were just like joking around. There was like, they have a food truck pull up. So then we like got tacos, and then at one point we just sat at a table drinking and just chatting, and then we were playing like Uno, but it was like each card meant something different, or like each card, whatever the number was, like corresponded to like a number, like list of questions. It was something like that. I'm pretty sure it was Uno.
Like get to know you question. This was
Yeah.
at the bar?
This was at the bar.
What?
Yeah. And so we were playing this like card game and like pretty much just asking each other the questions from this game.
Yeah.
And like answering it. And I think it just sparked really good conversation and it was just like flowing.
Yeah.
And I don't know, like that's why it was a really good date, I feel like. Because at one point, I think we just kind of like paused and looked at each other. And he like looked at me and was like, I think I have a really big crush on you.
Oh.
And I was like sitting there and I was like, oh.
Oh, that's so cute.
And I think it was just like, I don't know.
That would have made me blush
Oh,
if
I did.
I liked him too.
Yeah, no, I definitely did. And I did like him.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure I said like, oh, thanks, like, me too, or something like so like small and mousy. And yeah, we ended up leaving at like 11 midnight whenever they closed. Honestly, I think we left when they were closing, and he walked me to my car, kissed me goodbye.
Kiss you on the first date?
Yeah.
I feel like that's normal for the most part, but for you, I feel like that's not a you thing. Like, you don't kiss on the first date.
No, I don't. And I don't have any reason of why I don't. I just feel like I need some sort of comfortability with the person before I get any sort of physical with them.
Yeah.
Like, you guys, I don't even like when people touch me. Not even Kelsey and we live together.
Yeah.
So it's just like...
Sitting this close to each other
I'm so uncomfortable.
So weird.
But yeah, like, kissed me goodbye, and then I drove home. I was sober by the time I drove home. Now that I say it, I understand that I was driving home from a brewery. I was sober by the time I drove home. I did not get drunk. And yeah, the rest was history, I guess. Like, we hung out like a lot after that. I think we dated for like quite a few months, and then it ended like everything it does in LA. And he ended up just being kind of very strange.
Shocking.
And I'm also pretty sure he was in love with his roommate. He had one guy and one girl roommate. And whenever I would go over there was just like a really weird vibe in between them. So
weird.
I'm pretty sure they were like obsessed with each other. And then I was just kind of like there and I was like, is this going to turn into a throuple situation? Because if it is, I'm exiting.
I have something to say.
Okay.
Men, stop going on dates with people if you're in love with somebody else. For the love of God, stop. Stop doing it. You are not going to feel better. You're going to feel worse, and you're going to bring a lot of people down with you.
We're begging at this point. Please stop. If you have unresolved feelings for someone else, going on a date with a new person is not going to help. It's not going to help.
Grow up, go to therapy, and get over it before you start dating other people. And I say that with so much love.
So much.
In my heart.
I don't have any love in my heart for these men out here. But definitely agreed. Grow up and don't string us along.
Yep.
Even though I'm not really sure that's what he did. It's just a feeling I had in my gut. And you know what they say. Always listen to your gut. But yeah, it ended up being like a really, really good first date. Like, it obviously, like, it doesn't matter how it ended because that's how my experience was in the first date. So yeah, it was really good. I feel like it's like very anticlimactic and nothing much happened, but I think it was like we almost immediately had a connection and the communication was just flowing, which is not that common for me. I feel like I have a really hard time opening up to people, and I have a really hard time like having conversations with strangers because I'm always like, I don't know what to say. And so I don't know. It was my very first Hinge date, my very first date after I had moved like from Michigan to California. And I feel like it was like a big step for me. So I think maybe that's why I remember it so fondly. Yeah. Like separate from like the connection I felt with him.
Yeah. So, it was like your first big thing.
And it went really well. And I feel like that was a moment that I was like, oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
Like I can date people. And here we are.
Here we are.
All right. Well, that's all of mine.
I love it.
Now we're going to go to Kelsey's first date or best first date. Are you ready?
Oh, I'm nervous.
It'll be okay.
Okay.
I'm excited
to hear.
This is going to be weird to talk about for me, knowing what I know now.
Yeah.
But it was the best first date that I have ever been on, and that's how I felt in the moment, and honestly, I still feel that way. I want to preface this by saying that there's going to be a lot of huge red flags throughout this story that, looking back on, I probably should have recognized, but in the moment, it just kind of all happened. Okay. I matched with this boy on Hinge, and he lives in Orange County and I live in LA. So I was like, let's meet somewhere in the middle. Well, my Indiana self said Long Beach.
Oh.
It was like, I think 10 minutes from his house and not 10 minutes from mine, which at the time I was like, it's fine. I don't mind at all. I picked the place, whatever. Now that I know what I know, I absolutely would not drive that far for that man. But anyways, whatever. So we met on Hinge. We decided to go to Ballast Point in Long Beach, which is like this restaurant bar thing. It's really good vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So we had FaceTimed once or twice before, so I knew that like I could talk to him easily, but I wasn't like I was kind of just indifferent. Like I was excited to meet him, but I wasn't thinking it was going to be anything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But as soon as I saw him, he met me in the parking lot, and as soon as we saw each other, I instantly was like, yeah. Yep. I was just very attracted to him, and it just felt really easy and natural and instant connection. Anyways, we go up to like the rooftop part of this restaurant and we go to the bar to get a drink. And I remember standing in line at the bar and like kind of bumping him, joking with him about something and being like, I cannot believe I'm this comfortable with this man already. Like I already know that I like him and it's been 30 seconds. So I definitely feel that when I go on dates, like I know within 5 minutes if I'm going to want to keep hanging out or not. There are some exceptions to that. But this time I was like, yeah, this is like for sure someone I want to hang out with more.
Mm-hmm.
So we sat down, we talked about everything under the sun. We had so many good conversations. I felt so good about myself. Like he made me feel good about myself.
Mm-hmm.
And he would say things like, oh my God, you're so out of my league. I can't believe I'm on a date with you. Like nobody.
Which is true. Was true, is true, will always be true.
He was like, no one's going to believe that I'm on a date with you. Like, they're going to think we're brother and sister, like, blah, blah, blah.
Ugh.
Which ended up being a huge red flag later because I think he had a lot of, like, confidence issues, which I think took a toll on our relationship. But anyways, we'll get to that another day. It was just fun. Like, it was fun conversation. We had really good banter back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
I was, like, giddy. And then we were like drinking our little margaritas, eating our garlic fries, which he was like, that's bold of you to order garlic fries on a first date. And I was like, I don't give a fuck. So we go down to like the water. This restaurant's like right on the water. And we're standing there and the sun is setting, like picture perfect. And he kissed me. And he was like, you're a really good kisser. And I was like, ugh, my ego. He really like boosted my confidence.
Yeah,
that
the
night?
ego was already like here. I feel like your ego just went.
Yeah, I got a lot of compliments. It was really nice, but I can't explain the connection that we had. Like it was so instant.
Mm-hmm.
It was so natural. I felt so safe. I'm gonna try not to get emotional talking about this because this was in July, I think.
Yeah.
So this like it was like 6 months ago ish. And it continued for a long time and it was a horrible ending. Anyways, spoiler. Yeah, it was just such a good connection. And then we like went and sat on this little dock area and there were all these boats driving by. It was dark at this point and this boat full of people drives by and all these girls are looking at us and they were like, kiss her. So he kissed me. I swear.
That's like a movie.
I think he paid them. I think they were paid actors. But it was amazing. Like it was such a good date. Such a good strong connection. He did tell me that he had only been single for like 5 weeks, which was a red flag. And
Huge.
I remember being like, are you sure that you're ready to date?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, oh my God, like I'm so over it. If you knew what happened, like blah, blah, blah. And I believed him.
Of
which I
course.
shouldn't have, but I did. I don't have a reason not to believe him. I
Right.
just met him. Why would he lie to me? Why would
Exactly.
he lie to me? I was also told that I was the first Hinge date that he had since his breakup. Spoiler, also not true. But at the time I didn't know that, so I was like, go me. And then he told me that he was not going to be immediately after the first date. He was like, I'm not going to be dating anyone else. Like, I
Oh
want
my
to see where this
God.
goes. And I left that date and I texted my friends and I said, I just met my husband.
She did. She did text us that. I have the text to prove it.
I've never in my life said that about anybody. I thought I was going to, I legitimately was like, that's my husband. There's no way that that's not my husband. Like, that was such an instant connection and so much chemistry and like everything. It was everything. So, it's honestly really hard to like think about that date now.
Oh God, it's okay.
Knowing what I know now,
Yeah.
because I really felt so safe with him and like so valued, and
Mhm.
it's just like shocking knowing what I know now, that like everything he said on his date
Can I have
was
the
a
microphone?
lie. Yeah.
I just want to say that you didn't only feel this way on the first date. This boy made you feel this way for a very long time until it ended badly. He knows where he sits at the table, which is underneath it, like a dog. Um, but even though it ended badly, I think, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, as shitty as that sounds, but that doesn't take away from the experience that you had and the feelings that you had, because they were real.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I mean, all you can do is look back at it now knowing what you know, but that doesn't change the fact that, yeah, that was a really good first date. Like,
Yeah.
I would have thought the same thing.
It definitely was such a good first date, and it's honestly like when I think about it, it feels like I don't even know that person that I went on the date with. Like
Yeah.
that person I don't think exists. I don't think that's a real person. I think it was all a facade. I don't know. It really sucks actually, like thinking about it and looking back. Like I wouldn't say I'm sad about it anymore. Like I've definitely moved on and I'm fine, but like will I ever feel that way on a first date again? I don't know. Will I
Maybe.
ever trust anyone again? Like I don't know. I don't know. There's
That's the question.
a lot of unknowns. I think that whole situation changed my life completely. That sounds dramatic, but it did. But that
I
was
can like attest to that though. Like I feel like the Kelsey before this happened and the Kelsey after this happened, you're the same person, but as shitty as it was and as hard as it was for me to witness and watch you go through that, the person that has come out of the other side, I'm so proud of you.
Stop.
And I'm so proud of how far you've come. And I'm so proud of the work that you've done on yourself and that you haven't doubted it for a second. And that even if you do have doubts, you work on it and you work through it. And I don't know, I'm just so proud of you. And I think that shitty things happen to really good people. And good people are going to come out on the other side and learn from it and become better for it. And I think shitty people just continue to do shitty things until they figure out how to work on themselves. Okay, you guys are back.
No, I agree, and I have something to say. I think that when you go into things with a pure heart and pure intentions, you're always going to come out on top. And I think this situation was one where I have no idea what he's doing now. He probably has another girlfriend or three, like I don't know. Um, but I feel like I came out on top because of how much I've grown as a person from this. And if he has not gone and gotten the help that he needs, I know he hasn't grown. And like he's gonna keep doing the same shit to different girls, and that sucks for them because I know what it feels like and it's not fun. But I think that my life has significantly improved since then, because this was like the lesson where I was like, okay, I'm no longer putting other people above myself. I'm like taking things for what they are. I'm not giving chances that I normally would. Like if you don't live up to the standards that I've set first go around, you're done. Like that's it. And I think I mean, neighbor boy just brought me both flowers the other day, like just because nobody has ever done that for me ever. So
It was really cute.
I
I was
just
there to witness it.
yeah, I just feel like I have this different mindset and different standards set now, and I'm not even gonna get to a point emotionally where I'm invested in someone who could possibly turn out to not be like who I think that they are. So
Yeah.
definitely gonna take things a lot slower than that. I do want to add on this first date, like we at one point were talking about engagement rings. We weren't necessarily talking about getting married, but like it it felt like we both knew. Like it felt like we both just knew that we had just met our person. And it turns out he also talked about engagement rings on the other date that he went on, but it's fine. But I mean, this man promised me the world. Like we talked about going to Sweden to look at the stars. We like so
Christ.
many. I know it's crazy. Like these are all red flags now that I'm looking back. But in the moment, like I thought that was the person I was gonna marry. As crazy as that sounds.
I feel like this goes into a different conversation about love bombing.
Yeah.
And to me, that's exactly what he did to you. And I think so many people are not going to recognize that because, like, you're getting attention and you're getting affection and you're hearing the right things. You're being told the right things over and over and over again, and you're being promised these things. And I think it's hard not to get excited when someone is promising you the world and saying all these things, especially when you can feel yourself feeling the same way. And you're like, oh my gosh, no, I do like this person. I want to do these things with them. Even after a first date, like,
Yeah.
you feel that connection and it's like, okay, like, what are we doing now? Like, where
Yeah.
are we going?
Yeah.
Like, what's happening? And so I feel like he was very, very good at what he did.
Yeah.
And what I'm sure he still continues to do.
Yeah.
And some people just fall victim to it. And not some. I think I would fall victim to it too, to be honest, if someone treated me the way that he treated you. I mean, I met him. I liked him. Until I didn't.
Same. Yeah. So it was a fantastic first date. I don't know if I'll ever go on a first date like that again. I don't know if I'll ever feel that instant connection with anyone again, but now I know that like it was one-sided. So it is what it is. Life goes on. I am very excited for my future and moving to San Diego. Update, we got approved for our new apartment.
Yay!
So we're moving. It's official. And I think that things are only going to go up from here. And I'm excited to see who I'm going to meet, who I'm going to go on dates with. Like, there's so many things to be excited about. And just because we had our best first dates already doesn't mean that our future dates won't top those.
That's true. Yeah, like, I'm excited to see once we move, like, what other dates are we going to go on? Is there anyone we're going to meet? Anyone we're going to see again?
And you guys will be the first to know about this because, like we said, we have our dating series and we'll be recapping all the first dates that we go on this year. So
Stay tuned.
stay tuned. All right, you guys. Enough of the first dates. Let's talk friendship.
My favorite.
We decided that at the end of, not all, but most episodes when we have time, we're going to play this game. It's called We're Not Really Strangers.
Friendship edition.
Yeah, not sponsored yet, by the way. But this is a friendship edition. So we're just going to read one question we're both going to answer, and then we're going to wrap it up. So this will be a fun little addition.
Because some of these can get really deep because we've played like a few rounds. We don't know what all the cards are. But sometimes it just sparks a really good and long conversation. So there's 3 levels to this game. You'll see it's like 1, 2, 3. You can't see it. It's so far away. But there's first, second, third levels, and they kind of get like deeper the higher the level you go. So we're going to start at 1, and then hopefully this will just become like a little series thing that we do. Like Kelsey said, not every episode. It depends how long we ramble on for in the beginning. So we're going to start with level 1 and do 1 card and both answer it. Okay.
I'm going to ask you first, and you'll answer first.
okay.
What's something you love but know not to invite me to?
Oh. That's a really good question because I feel like you're down for almost everything. I have.
Oh God.
I have an idea, but I can't say it on this podcast. I'll tell you after. And I know that you'll agree, and it's the only thing I can think of right now. Oh, I like to do some spiritual things. I'm a crystal girly. And sometimes I like to take time out to meditate. And I don't practice it daily, even though I'm pretty sure like I should. But sometimes I go to this class, and it's a sound bath meditation class, and they're my absolute favorite thing, you guys. I love them. You literally lay and you listen to the crystal bowls and whatever other tools that they use. This last one that I went to, the woman literally like sang like an angel. Like it wasn't even words, I don't think. But it was the best thing I've ever gone to. I lay there, I'm pretty sure I fell asleep, but I woke up and I have never felt better in my life. I even came home and I was like, Kelsey, I'm in such a good mood. That was the best thing I've ever done in my life. So Kelsey has gone to one with me. It was a different studio than what I go to now, which I still don't think you would like the one that I go to now. But I think that would be the one thing that I wouldn't invite you to. Again, I feel like I would invite you, but I know that you'd say no. And I think it's just because it's just not for you. It's just not for you. Kelsey also has ADHD. So laying down and listening to this and her trying to take it seriously is not, it doesn't mesh well together. But it is something that I love doing that I know that you probably will never come with me ever again after that first time. Okay, your turn.
Okay, I think I know. Something that I love to do and that I wish I did more, that I think Kristen would go, but only because she's supportive and nice, not because she has any excitement in the matter. Two things that come to mind. Ice skating and rollerblading. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have rollerblades? Nope. But I want them, and I want to roller skate everywhere. I want to be so good at roller skating. And Kristen has told me I absolutely will not do that because I will break every bone in my body. So that would be a Kelsey thing. I'd probably still ask you, but
Yeah.
there's not really much that we would do without inviting each other.
Yeah.
There's just like things that like we know each other wouldn't want to do, but probably still would.
Yeah.
That's really all I can think of.
Yeah, there's really not much.
Anything that involves like talking to strangers, maybe too.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go.
Okay, like if there was like some sort of speed dating event or social event, I love that stuff. Sign me up. Let me talk to everybody. Kristen would not go. She would not do those. Not that I've ever done either of those, but I would. I would love it, I think.
One time, like 4.5 years ago, maybe 5, I think 4, I got invited to go on a speed dating like thing with one of my coworkers in Long Beach, and it was like for Valentine's Day, and it ended up getting canceled, I think, because of COVID. I think it was right around COVID, so it was like 3 years ago, not 4. I don't know anymore. 4. 3.5. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. But I got invited to go, and when I tell you guys, I procrastinated signing up, and my coworker like kept asking me if I wanted to go, and I was like, yeah, for sure. And I was like, this is actually my absolute worst nightmare. And it ended up getting canceled from COVID, and I've never been more relieved to have a national pandemic happen and get things canceled.
That's amazing. All right. Well, that wraps up this week's episode. Thanks for tuning in and bearing with us with the mic situation. I think it's a cord that broke, so we ordered a new one. Fingers crossed that it works. And I don't even know what we're talking about next week. I don't even think that we know what we're talking about next week, so we'll keep you updated on social media. I will admit, we did not post really anything on social media this week. It has been a crazy week, to say the least. We will keep you guys posted this week on social media, Instagram at Kouch_Chronicles, TikTok Kouch.Chronicles, and we will see you next week. Okay, bye!